Okay, I'm back. Okay, so I think yesterday I left off on 6th grade. So let me keep going. For those of you who are new here, my name is Katerina. I'm talking about, different subjects that we can talk about at night, that we can chat about. It could be like stuff that's going on in the world. It could be anything. I also want to touch base on me bringing awareness to a disease that I have called Hidradenitis Suppurativa, HS for short. And telling you guys a little bit about my story and how I grew up and the ordeals that I had to go through dealing with this disease and the struggles and the hardships, but also the beautiful moments that came out of it and the friendships that blossomed, and to where I am now currently engaged, and I have a 7-month-old beautiful son. Life is great right now. But other than that, I believe on my last video, the last story I told, I think I was in 6th grade, and it was a story of embarrassment with a former classmate of mine, and how I just called my mom to go home. And so in high school, in middle school, I played on the basketball team. I've always been a basketball girl since I was like 10 years old. I played basketball. I mean, it was my life. I was a power forward and center. And I have some championships under my belt. And I remember it was like the highlight of my days. I was conditioning, working out 365 days a year. I'm tall. I'm 6 feet tall. So I was always the tallest girl there. And unfortunately, basketball got too hard for me. I was getting more cysts and more infections and more outbreaks, and I couldn't play anymore. And that was hard making that decision. But I did play in 7th and 8th grade. It was when I got to high school that I couldn't play anymore. So how has this disease affected my life growing up? So I remember in middle school seeing all my friends get asked out to like the prom, the prom in 8th grade. And I remember them getting going on dates and getting invited to parties. And although I had many friends and everybody always wanted to be my friend, that was just it. Everybody just always wanted to be my friend, and it was hard for me because I had an older sister at the time, and she would go on dates. And I had a best friend who would go on dates, and I had friends who would go, and nobody wanted to like date me. It was always like a problem. Well, in my eyes, to what I thought was a problem. So it really did affect me. I felt I didn't feel so pretty. I felt like I was alone most of the time. It was just super hard. And I don't know, you guys don't have to have what I have to relate to this, but I know that sometimes people can make you feel not worthy. And sometimes people can make you feel like you're just not good enough. And I'm here to tell everybody else that no matter what you're going through, no matter what your condition is, no matter what your issues, no matter if you're too short or too tall or too fat or too skinny, or you're not black enough or you're not white enough, you're perfect the way you are. And I know that sounds cliche, but this is the way God intended you to be. This is the way you were born. We're all made up of like these little tiny molecules and these DNA cells, and it is really beautiful learning the process of childbirth and how we started out to how we are now. It's a journey, and if this is how God intended you to be, then this is how you are. And you need to learn how to embrace that, and you need to learn how to accept that and how to love that about yourself. And I'm glad that at 27 years of age, I can sit here and say that I find myself beautiful, even if you don't find me beautiful. And I find myself worthy enough. And although I still struggle, I still to this day struggle with the same mentality that I had back when I was 10, 12, 15 years old, because it's something that sticks with you. But that's okay, because part of life and part of growing up is really embracing the change in who you've become. And it is okay if you are not perfect. And it is okay if somebody says, well, she talks too much, or she doesn't talk enough, or, people are always going to judge you, and that is fine. As long as you're okay with yourself, there's nothing, no person in this world, any person in this world can tell you different. I think there's a saying, and it's something about never give a person the power over your feelings based on their opinions. And it's basically saying your opinion holds no power over how I feel about myself. And there's nothing you can say or do to change that. And I think that's a great quote. I have to really find it word for word verbatim, and so I can tell you who actually invented the quote and give them credit. But I think it's a beautiful quote, and it's something that I've always read about, because it's true. The only reason somebody's words can hurt you, because words do hurt whether you admit it or not, is if you allow them to. So don't allow them to. I think to myself, what got me through all those years? All those hospital visits, hospital stays, surgeries, I mean, you name it. Doctors poking and prodding me, treating me like test subjects. I mean, oh my gosh, doctors telling me that, no, you need to take more showers. No, but you should just work out more. Or, no, they're not painful at all. What you have, the condition you have, is not painful at all. I wouldn't wish this condition on my worst enemy. I wouldn't wish it on the devil himself. I wouldn't. It sucks. It's painful. It's debilitating. It changes the way you think. It changes the way you feel every day. Your life is not your life anymore. It is controlled by this disease. And it's up to you to pull yourself up every single day and say, I'm going to do something today. I'm going to make a difference. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to go to school and be the best I can be. I'm going to put a fake smile on, a fake smile. And I'm going to push through and persevere, because that's what I'm intended to do. See, that is that pep talk you got to give yourself every single day. And then there's those days. There's those days where I used to catch myself falling in a deep, dark, sunken place. Like the movie Get Out. Like I would just fall. And I would wrap myself up in a ball, and I would give up on life. I would give up on it all. And those days, my life, in my opinion, wasn't worth living. My life wasn't. I was never gonna amount to nothing, to anything. I wasn't good enough. I can't bear children, right? This is what I used to tell myself. I can't. No guy would really ever love me. Who would want to date me? This is the burden I've caused to have on myself. This is the pain that I've given my parents. I mean, these are things I used to tell myself. My parents deserve a daughter who's going to be successful and who's going to be able to pay them back for other troubles, and, who's going to be able to give them grandchildren. Like, I'm telling you, I would make myself feel like crap. Straight garbage. I can't tell you how many times I've wanted to commit suicide. Suicide is a very sensitive topic. It's a very sensitive subject. I think for anybody out there, if anybody is thinking of taking their life, I just want to remind you how precious your life is, how beautiful your life is. How many babies have died wanting to be where you are right now? No matter the situation, no matter the circumstance. I'm not saying that my situation is better than yours or yours is mine. each of our situations are difficult, they're hard. But you gotta find a will to get out of it. You gotta find a will to get over it. You'll never truly get over it. The truth is, I am not me without my disease. I am not Katharina, the spunky Capricorn, the life of the party, the makeup queen, the dramatic girl. I am not me without this disease. Everything that I've gone through has made me who I am and has inspired me to be a better version of myself every single day. So I'm just reaching out. I am creating this YouTube channel because I want other people to be able to speak freely and not afraid. There's no judgments here. This is a no judgment zone. I want everybody to know that they can express themselves and they can talk about whatever they want here. And there's only a few subjects that I won't touch because I'm a good person and would really not prefer not to speak about certain things that really affects me. But in all honesty, I want to keep this channel open because I know that every day there's issues, and every day somebody feels like shit. I'm sure somebody's going through something. I mean, nobody's perfect, and shame on you if you think you're perfect. Nobody's perfect. But I just wanted to let you guys know that as I'm talking, I think I remember different stories and different things that I went through. And one of the hardest things I think that took me a while to cope with was I had to come to terms that I was different. I had to understand that I wasn't your average teenager. I couldn't go to the beach and the parties like I wanted to. I was cooped up in hospitals. I had MRSA on and off. Surgeons who wanted to do exploratory surgery on me. At one time they wanted to amputate my leg. I had infections that were undiagnosable. I had a lot going on. It was a lot. I can't believe, I still don't understand how my mother was so strong throughout everything that I went through. My mother is just holy. She's godly. She's like, when you think of a godly woman, when you think of a strong, independent, hardworking, mindful, beautiful woman, that's my mother. And that's the mother that I hope to be. And I can tell you that before I met my fiance, oh wow, I had already come to terms that I wasn't gonna have children. I had already told myself that I'm not gonna get married, that I'm never gonna experience love, and I was okay with, the sad part was I was okay with that. I was okay with it. I just told myself, well, that's it, no more. And that's pretty sad, man. I could really sit here and look back and say, if I would have ended my life the times that I wanted to, or if I would have really given up, I wouldn't have this precious 7-month-old, what is to me, and yes, I'm biased, the most beautifulest, perfect baby in the world. My son is my everything. And I wouldn't have an amazing, brilliant, strong, dedicated fiance. I wouldn't have any of that because I wouldn't have given God the chance to bless me with that. So I think I'm gonna end here, and hopefully tomorrow I have some people to talk to and not just myself, although I think I can talk to myself enough. And hopefully we can talk and I can help somebody, anybody. And remember, guys, if you're going through something, you're not alone. There's always somebody here, and there's no point in hiding. Hiding gets you nowhere. Everybody who suffers from hidradenitis suppurativa, they hide. A lot of us hide. Because this disease is not pretty. It's an ugly disease. It is a debilitating disease physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It messes with you in ways that you can't imagine. Even families have disowned their own for this disease. I mean, doctors have sat here and tried to tell us that what we're going through is all in our heads. It is bad. Everybody's misinformed. And what I can say is that hiding gets you nowhere. It is time to speak up. So on that note, my loves, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.